Good morning, my name is Darius De La Cruz. Who wouldn't want their children safe at schools? With the combination of physical security, physical barriers, and CCTV cameras that can dramatically reduce the mass shootings going on in schools. For safer schools, security is a requirement, especially nowadays when it seems like every week there's mass shooting going on in schools, if it's churches, or even in movie theaters. Most schools avoid having security for different purposes. One of the purposes is budget. A lot of schools have certain budgets and they have to manage those budgets on different things. A lot of schools believe they don't need security. There's nothing that's ever happened in their school, so they believe that not having security, it's not a big deal. Nothing has ever happened in their school, so they avoid wasting their money on security for those reasons. You must understand that not having a security makes your school an easy target. What's an easy target? An easy target is a school that somebody could just walk into without being questioned, without being asked. You can look very suspicious. You can walk into the school with a 9mm or any kind of handgun, even an assault rifle, which has happened plenty of times, and just shoot up the school with nobody stopping you. Today, I will speak about how I can change your school from being an easy target to a hard target. Physical security. What is physical security? Physical security is a person. A lot of times you see them with a sign in the back saying security. What is their main purposes? Their main purposes are to check people in, scans, to check for suspicious items, suspicious cars, and a suspicious person. So I'll explain to you what everything is. So the number one thing is to check for suspicious people. What is a suspicious person? A suspicious person could be somebody taking pictures of different cameras, finding out the softer targets, figuring out different ways that they can get inside the building without anybody seeing them. That's what I consider a suspicious person. A suspicious item can be a bomb, a backpack that was left on the side, was there overnight, nobody has claimed that it's theirs. Might be a little suspicious. We've seen that in different scenarios, like the Boston bombing, that a gentleman left a backpack there and the whole thing blew up without anybody noticing this. Another thing is checking in. When you have kids at school, you don't want just letting anybody into the building. So one of the most important things to do is to check people in, to figure out what they're doing at the school. It can be for different reasons. It can be that they're having an interview, or it could even be that they're just picking up somebody from their family. Scans. Scans is another important thing. With physical security, scanning is basically walking around the school, checking for anything like broken glass, maybe a window that was left open overnight, maybe somebody tried to break in, some vandalism. For different schools like Jewish facilities, a lot of people like to vandalize because of the hate that they receive. Things like this are very important when it comes to physical security because it can prevent certain situations before they actually happen. Anne Clean from York College, Pennsylvania, had mentioned that students in most schools are now required to wear uniforms. And the reason why is to better identify students from other people. This is something that they've implemented in the last couple of years that has helped out security in a sense. The reason why is because if you see a lot of kids that usually have uniforms and you see one person walking into the school without a uniform, it's a red light. Okay, what is this person doing here? Let me approach them and find out why they're here. And this could be a great prevention system. Another thing that I want to talk about is physical barriers. What is a physical barrier? Physical barriers could be different things. One of the physical barriers is gates. The reason that gates are so important as a physical barrier is because you want to put more barriers between yourself and the protectees. So with gates, for example, there's different ways to control gates. They have manual ways and they have an automatic way. A lot of the times with security, they usually hang out at the gates, and that way they can question anybody. God forbid, if it's somebody that is not allowed into the school, there's a physical barrier before getting into the actual school that can prevent them from getting there. Or not, if not prevent them, it can slow them down, which gives security or protectees enough time to protect themselves and gives enough time for police to get there before something physically can happen to them. Another thing is walls. Physical barriers is very important with walls. A lot of schools have safe rooms. What are safe rooms? Safe rooms can be any kind of room in the building of a school that has no windows. That's one of the safer places to be in, just in case of an emergency. This way you can close the door, barricade it, and protect yourself until police can come and let you out. Paris Schwartz from WTTW said physical barriers is the best place to start for safer schools. And the reason for that is because when it comes to having a perpetrator coming into your school or whatever it is, if it's a bombing attack, a ramming, or anything like that, physical barriers is the number one thing to slow them down from getting into the building. And the last thing, but not least, is CCTV cameras. What are CCTV cameras? They're basically cameras that are placed around the facility or around the school that record. What's the reason for having CCTV cameras? Some of the main reasons are burglary, theft, vandalism, and crimes. Why is this so important? The reason it's so important is because a lot of the times people that decide to come into a school or decide to do something dangerous to a school usually go to the school and scan it before they ever do it. A lot of the times the people come into a school and do mass shootings, they know how the physical barrier of the school is. They know who works there. They know how many cameras are around the building. And with having cameras to check this out prior to somebody coming into the school goes back into having physical security there. This way, everything can go back into the recording. You can see who was there and why everything was going on. About 60% of convicted burglaries stated that the presence of security cameras systems influenced their decision to look for other easy targets. This was in an article by RealLink that was stated inside the article. In conclusion, school securities can help protect and prevent shootings with physical barriers, physical security, and CCTV cameras. Thank you.